what we're going to look at today is we do bag drills all the time, and a lot of times students, people in the online dojo, they do the required bag drills, but they don't ever think about the setups or how they would apply it. And then we go into sparring, and then they just spar and just, you know, go all willy-nilly and freestyle and just try to beat the hell out of each other. Not really think about the setups. So we're going to take some of the common bag drills that we do, and not all of them, but the common ones. And we're going to look at a way of setting it up and using it. The simplest combination, which is Kazami Gyaku. And for those of you guys out there who don't know what that is, it's jab cross. The most basic jab cross combination, Kazami Gyaku, can be applied a variety of different ways. There's numerous ways you can do it, numerous targets, numerous setups. We're just going to look at one setup for each of these combinations today. Because I could take that one, I can answer for me. I could take this very first combination, which is Kazami Gyaku, pop, pop. I could do this, you know, a variety of different ways, and for setups and so on and so forth. Like we can put the Kazami on this side. If I jab to this eye here and he does an inward block, right? Then that would give me something different when I come in the Gyaku. If I throw it over here and he does an inward block with the front hand inward, then it gives me this side of the face. If I throw the jab Kazami and he does an outward block with the front hand, then that gives me something different with Gyaku from here, right? So depending on how he reacts it's what changes the dynamic of the combination. Same thing, depending on what I use as a target point is going to determine that too. But me being on the offensive end, I can kind of play that like a puppet. Because if I know, go to fighting stance for me, good. If I throw my jab to this eye, I know that he's probably going to throw an inward block with this hand. He's probably just going to smack it off. That's going to be the most common reaction, right? If I throw my Kazami to this eye right here, he's going to throw an outward block with that front hand, right? That's going to be the most common reaction. Of course, it might not be the reaction. Hell, he might just step back, he could push it down, he can shoot in at me and get into a grappling situation. I mean, who knows the dynamics? But what we're going to look at today is really focusing on trying to get him to throw that inward block. So we're going to shoot to the back eye, okay? So our jab is going to go to this side. The person on defense is going to throw an inward block. And then once this opens up, we've got our Gyaku coming into the side. So Kazami Gyaku should look like this. We're here, bang. And I'm using my jab, not because I'm trying to make contact. I'm using my jab as a setup to get him to move, to open up the target that I want. The target that I want is the temple on the right side of the head. I want my Gyaku full force right there. Okay, so we're here, we'll go 3 times. So we're here, and bang, just like that. Pop, pop, and then pop, pop, just like this, right? The next one we're going to look at is going to be the Kagi Ura, or hook uppercut. When we look at the hook uppercut, hands up, if I throw a hook, again, the chances are he's going to throw an inward block with this hand here. So if I'm here and I throw a hook, he got that. My uppercut is going to go to these ribs right here, right? So I've got it into the ribs, right? Now, again, it could be a variety of different ways. He could parry it down. If I come in with a hook, hell, he could do a downward block. That's going to change the dynamic. He could block with if I come in here, he could block with the backhand. This, again, the dynamics, there are a multitude of dynamics. There isn't the one way. If there was one way, then everyone would just do it, okay? Today, we're going to be working off the idea with this drill that when I set up the hook, he's going to throw an inward shot with that lead hand, his lead defense, okay? So when I come in like this, he'll block. That gives me the uppercut into the ribs, okay? So we'll give 3 reps so you guys can see how that combination is going to look, right? So boom, boom, right? And boom. And again, notice I'm not trying to make contact with that Kagi. I want to come in just to get the reaction so I can come in with the shot, right? That's what we're looking for. Now, the next one we're going to look at is Kazami Gyaku Kagi Ura, right? Then we're going to hit some bags and work on it a little bit. When you have a multiple strike set, right? Jab, cross, hook, uppercut, and everyone practices that, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, so when you practice that, the only way you're going to get that in a fight is if someone's going to do the Makura Uke. We call, in traditional Japanese martial arts, we call it Makura Uke. It means pillow block, right? Like this, double up, right? It's Makura Uke. Some people call it cover. You know, there's lots of different martial arts called it different word, right? The traditional Japanese martial arts calls it makura uke. So if I start teeing off on his ass, he's just going to cover up. He's going to have makura uke both sides. He's going to kind of go this way. So again, a lot of times you'll see that boxers kind of come into the face like this, or they move like this, or something like that. So let's look at that. Let's say that I'm going to throw my, as soon as I throw my jab, he kind of puts his hands up like this, and he does like an inward block. He sees that I'm coming in with my gyaku, he'll just slightly block here. I'm coming in with that hook shot, he sees that, so he blocks in this way. That's what's going to give me the uppercut to the jaw. Now again, see this triangle right here? That's what we want. Because when he turns with the hook, away from the hook, that's going to give me the turn the hip, go up on the ball of the foot, and then come right in with that shot. So we're here, let's look at that. We'll go slow. So I've got, because he's going to makura up or block up. 1, 2, 3, boom, right here. And pop, 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 boom. And pop, 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 boom, right there. See how I'm setting up? I'm hitting him high, going to the high gate, the high gate, you know, upper gate, high gate, whichever one you want to call. But basically, anything from the shoulders up is called the joman, which means upper gate. Anything from the shoulders all the way to the hip is called the chuman, which means middle gate. Anything from the hips all the way down to the ground is called the gaemon, which is the lower gate. Generally speaking, when you're doing combinations, you don't want to keep hitting the same gate over and over. Like Kazami Gyaku Kari Ura, you're not trying to hit this, that's all the upper gate. But you're trying to hit it in a way, you're using that, manipulating the motion, that when we're doing it, he's not changing his defense. If I make a straight, he'll do an inward. If I make a straight, he does an outward. If I come into the side, he might either block with this or inward. Either way, when I come in here, that's giving me the uppercut here. If he comes in with an inward, I got an uppercut to the ribs. If he does an outward with this, I've got an uppercut to the face. Again, that changes the dynamics, the way that he moves. But the idea is to make him play defense and to manipulate what he thinks is going on to what you're going to be doing. Okay? When you guys are doing combinations, this is something I want to make sure you guys know from the jump. Whatever the last strike is the one, that's the KO. So if we do like Kazami Gyaku Mawashi, right? So we're doing a jab, cross, and then a roundhouse, or something like this, right? Mawashi Giri. The Mawashi Giri is the hammer. The jab cross isn't. If I'm doing Kazami Gyaku Mawashi, the last strike is the one that should be doing the most damage. Okay, so let's look at if we go to Kazami Gyaku Mawashi, I might not make any contact at all with the first 2 strikes. I'm just trying to get him to cover the Jomon, the upper gate, so that I can attack the Gaemon, the lower gate, right? So that's the idea. So if you look at that particular technique, we're here, pop, pop. See how he does that? I'm turning my hip to get into that knee. So let's look at that again. We're here, 1, 2, boom, coming right in with that shot. And that's that idea. So even with the most simplest technique is Kazami Gyaku. Let's go back to that very first one before we start doing this. The very first one, if I know my last strike is Gyaku, right, Gyakuzuki, then I want to make sure that when I throw this and he does this inward block, I'm putting it out there to get the movement I want. So that I've got the exact target to boom, come in as hard as I can with that strike. Does that make sense? All right, let's play.